So Tommy has finally found out DMac is his nephew, something they've been building and building ever since episode 2, when not only they came face to face in Diamond's barbershop, but where DMac also pointed his gun in Tommy's direction, not knowing that this is his uncle. And it always was going to be Tommy who was going to connect the dots and find out first. So linking this in with my video last week where I spoke about the nephew reveal, one of the main questions I asked was, how will this change the dynamics between Tommy, DMac and JP? Because Tommy will definitely want to reunite them, but also protect them at the same time, because he knows the consequences that come with this game, which also broke his previous family, which were the St. Patrick's, and this left a big hole in his life, a hole which JP and DMac will go some way in filling. And you can say where he lost one nephew in Tariq because of betrayal, lies, and after he killed Ghost, he's gained another in DMac. And I really do get the feeling that he's gonna have an increased importance to the storyline of Force as the series progresses, becoming a mainstay and playing a crucial role under Tommy and really becoming a fan favorite. But as always, there always is complications, and one element we can't forget in terms of Tommy's family is Egan. But we're gonna focus more on DMac, Tommy and JP, but we are gonna touch on K as well. But why did DMac all of a sudden turn to Team Tommy instead of staying loyal to Junod and the CBI? And there is a few reasons for this. Now Elijah's death would have hit DMac, and we saw him at Elijah's funeral in episode 6, and the camera panning towards DMac wasn't a coincidence, because this was the writers showing us that DMac is realizing what happens in the streets if you make a mistake, or if you switch off for 1 second. And as they say, there are no nights off in this game. But not only did he see Elijah's funeral, he saw how Junod was ready to betray his own brother Diamond to take back control over the CBI. And even though he was loyal to Junod, he must have been thinking to himself, if Junod is thinking about betraying Diamond, his own brother, then what would he do to me? And then there was a whole Marshall deal with his cousin in Gary, which he was cut out from, and Marshall purposely didn't call DMac to this night out, because he was working his own angle and wants his own come up with the CBI. So Elijah's death, Junod showing snaky behavior, and Marshall cutting him out from the deal that they were supposed to make together really did leave DMac in a limbo. And this is why we're now seeing DMac turn to Tommy, and now we're seeing this part play out from his character description, where running with Tommy proves to be more than a fluke. DMac looks to Tommy as he hits a crossroad in his life that can completely upend his future. So now we're seeing DMac look to Tommy, and even more so after episode 8, because he really is just a kid at heart. Especially with the comments that he makes, you can really tell he's still a kid. For example, how he referenced Tommy having eyes at the back of his head, being someone like a superhero. And something else which I do believe was very intentional was this.
When I was a kid, I ain't really started reading until I was like 6. And all the teachers at school thought I was stupid. But the fact is, I was never fucking stupid. I just had all of this math going on in my head.
And it really is a common theme among some young kids who end up becoming late talkers after 3, 4 or 5 years old. And it also explains why he struggled to think of the word couriers in episode 7. But where some kids do grow up with speech impediment, it also shows nobody was really there in DMac's life as a young kid to guide him or teach him. And I guess this is another reason why he's looking to Tommy as a new mentor. So we learned a bit more about DMac and how he's a math genius, and where Tommy said he may have a perfect role for him in his organization with his mind for numbers and being able to calculate different things. I can really see him being put into the work in the labs, because we all know as Tommy's expanding, he needs more cooks, and it's also another way to keep him off the streets and protect him, and also possibly reunite him with JP. But before we get to that, something may have fell off with DMac wanting to join Tommy's side. And he was right to think so, because Junod did have DMac on Tommy not once, but twice. And Tommy's not stupid, which is why we saw Tommy following him. And this was the moment Tommy finally realized who DMac was. But let's rewind it back to episode 2, because we first saw this image after DMac sprayed JP's bar. And then we saw him coming face to face, where DMac saved JP from Marshall. So DMac does know that JP is his father, but JP doesn't know that DMac is his son. But coming back to Tommy finding this picture of DMac and JP, one thing I'm sure will come to mind is his other nephew, Tariq St. Patrick, and where both are similar in the sense they're smart. But with DMac, he grew up in the streets with no father figure or parents in his life to guide him. And this is one of the major key differences between Tariq and DMac. But also where it can be argued how we're seeing Ghost in different forms. For example in Tariq in Power Book 2 Ghost, with the moves that he's making. And now with Tommy in Power Book 4 Force, you can even say we're gonna see a bit of Tariq in DMac because of how Tommy's lost so much in Ghost and Tariq. He's now gaining this with JP and his nephew. And with Tommy being Tommy, I do think we're gonna see him warm to DMac, just like how we used to with Tariq on occasions where he was his protector, but also set him straight when he needed to be. For example, when Tariq warned Dre about the hit that Tommy and Ghost had out for him. But having said all of this, we need to remember Tariq is still alive, and the timelines are the same, and Tariq did mention to Tommy, when they meet again, hopefully he'll be worthy of Ghost's name. So let's see what happens when they do meet again, because this is a crossover which I still do think will happen, not now, but in the future. But coming back to the present day in Force, I can really see Tommy putting DMac and JP to work together in the labs, and this is how they could reconnect, because no doubt Tommy will have a big part to play in his family coming together. But speaking of family, Grandma Miriam Egan dying and him looking at the photo of JP and DMac, realizing who he is to him, looking at the photos of him and Kate. Now all of the events that played out in episode 8 really did put things into perspective, and then we saw him contemplating calling Kate, but it wasn't Tommy who called Kate, it was JP, and no doubt she will show her face at some point in Chicago. But Tommy will be wary about keeping not just DMac away from Kate, but Dahlia as well, because he knows how crazy coked up his mom always is. But that's a rundown of DMac and his relationship with Tommy, a character who I really do think will be an important part of the storyline of Power Book 4 Force's future. Because if, for example, JP was to die at some point in the future, because this is the Power World of course, I can really see Tommy keeping DMac close to him, mentoring him, and really seeing his character develop from a boy into a man. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know how you see this relationship playing out between everyone, not just with Tommy, but with JP and Kate as well. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 4 Force and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.